Ράδιο Symban.
You know, I was in the backstage just thinking about it. My favourite character in the WOG household is that uncle that I call the WOG Aussie uncle. You know, the one he's been here about 30, 40 years, you know, and he speaks Italian. I speak Italian, but he speaks to me in English. And when he speaks to me, he's very so confident, but he stuffs up all the words, you know, and he'll tell me stories. He'll go, oh, listen, Mike, listen. You can never imagination. You can never imagination what happened to me for my lifetime, you know? Not just a quick. We make a short story long, you know? Just to make a short story long, my son, he bloody give me the nervous broke down. Because I tell him to hurry up and get him married because the time is running out of us. The time is running out of us. Man, you know, listen. He bring home me this gala with this big hair, short skirt, the boob up like this. She look like the singer from a long time ago. What's it called? Tina Tuna. You remember Tina Tuna, no? She got the song, what's love got to do? Man, I like this girl. She's always me. Very jellyfish, this one. Now, where did she go? This girl with the short skirt and the big hair? But who she tried to depress? Nobody? No, why? Nobody. But you know, listen to me, my son. You know, listen. It's a go in one ear, back out again, you know? Anyway, it's a ring him up and says, Daddy, I'm gonna get married. Do whatever you like. I said, whatever tickle your fantasy. I don't care, it doesn't matter to me. Half a dozen of chicken and 6,000 eggs, the same thing, you know? But anyway, my blood, he get a married. I pay. Oh yeah, I blood a pay. Yeah, very expensive, blood thing. It's cost me a ham and an egg at this wedding. Very expensive. But he get married, no, get to do the things, you know. He's to get married. He have the back party with the strip, yeah. And she have the party with all the girl. What it's called, the chicken tea party, you know. They get married, they go to the holiday, they go to the moon, they come back, you know. Anyway, everything all right for about 6 months. Then he called me and said, Daddy, bad news, we got to separate. I said, what happened? He reckon him and this girl, they got no more chemicals. He reckon he lose the spark plug or something. Divorce, but I'm not stupid. What do you think? I said I was born in the shower. No, mate. I didn't come down in the rain, you know. My son, you think I was born tomorrow? No, mate. But what you can do for nothing, you know. Nothing you can do. Every day try, every dick and Harry try. 99.100% of the people here, everybody gets a divorce. What you can do nothing, and that's the way you cook the crumble, you know. And now, list them on last, you know. Now I'm gonna ask you a problem. You tell me what to do. You put your shoes in my shoes. In my shoes. Now he's moving my ears And every bloody night he's in the computer with another girlfriend, they call her Antoinette or something. Oh, it's a bloody talk with Antoinette. You reckon he got a really good connection? But I tell you, this Antoinette, she's got to be a bloody big butana. Very big butana. Every 5 minutes the computer got a new virus.
George Kapiniaris, welcome to Symban Radio once again and to the program.
Hello, Radio Symban.
How are you, Yorgo? Good?
Well, I just did the Thalassa cruise, and that's how they used to greet us every morning. The captain would go, "Hello, guest. How are you?"
Tell me about that little trip. Postapias. How did you go on the sailing trip?
Well, the saying that we had on the trip was, "This is the Thalassa cruise, and Te Ongani Thalassa." But actually, that's what happens when you get 1,700 Greeks together. You get unorganised, disorganised, Greek Orthodox, chaos.
Chaos.
So we all got along beautifully. We had a wonderful time. The biggest Gudinyadas in the world we are, really, but we also know how to have
how to celebrate, don't we?
At the end of the day, we come good, which is good.
That's excellent. You've got, although you tipped us off last time about this, remember, you said that there's something in the pipeline, and from memory, you said you're the first person I'm telling you about this, and so we're really happy that you're back on the show and you're going to describe to us about the new show and the new stars. First and foremost, the name. Where did the name come from?
Well, the name came from the man that I was talking about, Basil. It was my idea with Joe to do an ethnic comedy evolution. I was
COMICUS ERECTUS.
Ethnic Evolution.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the working title, and we did a poster of us sort of evolving from one sort of
seen that.
species of man to the next, or ethnic comedian. And then Basil said, why don't we call it Comicus Erectus? Which Homo erectus is basically what man is. It's a scientific name.
Yep.
So instead of Homo, nothing to do with Pustides,
Oh,
we've got Comicus instead of Homo, and it's become Comicus Erectus, which actually means stand-up comedy.
Stand-up comedy, Comicus Erectus, bravo,
Comicus,
that's right.
Comicus, comedian,
Orthios,
Orthios,
Comicus, excellent. Now, without giving too much away, because we want to actually see it, who are the stars, and what exactly can we expect in the show?
We have a star-studded lineup, unbelievable lineup. There's something for everyone in this. You don't have to be Greek.
That's right.
To enjoy this show. Every nationality, whether you're a Skippy the Bush Kangaruda or, you're from Poland. It doesn't matter.
That's right.
Not the Polish people don't have sense of humour, as they do. But myself, of course, is in it. Tahir, who people know from Fat Pizza as Habib. Or from Housos, or from Swift and Shift Couriers.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful stand-up comic that I've known for years. Great improviser, great material, just loves the audience, playing with the audience, and it's a joy to have him on board. And then we've got Joe Avardi, who's also our producer, and Joe and I were doing the Il Dago shows the last couple of seasons in all around Australia. And Joe, as they call him, the Italian Seinfeld. Not only famous in Australia, but all around the world, especially Canada, where they named a pizza after him.
Oh, wow.
And, of course, Basil, who's a Greek.
Yep.
American.
Greek-American with an American accent.
His humour is similar to our humour, and he comes from an American point of view and not an Australian point of view. But another diasporic Greek comedian.
Absolutely, and which is really, really good because we can get to see what makes American Greeks tick, and I guess they see the opposite with yourself.
He's excited about this show because he's been here before, performed to Greek Australians, but he wants to go mainstream. So he's got much more material to do, which is to a broader audience, a more mainstream audience, not just a Greek audience. So if you've
Greek.
seen him before, don't think you'll get the same stuff. You'll get brand new stuff.
Excellent. So now the biggest question, of course, George, is how do you keep these guys together? I mean, it's not so much, people will go and see one show and think, wow, great. But the fact is that you guys will be together for a long time, like many, many months.
That's right.
And, of course, Joe Vardy certainly is from Australia but actually lives in America. Basil is the same. He's from America. How do four great comics get together for such a long time and work together for so long?
Well, it's mutual respect is very important. We all have to like each other and like touring with each other and respect each other's humour, which we all do. In fact, it was Basil who was saying to us, come on, guys, come on, George, when are we going to do a show together, man? Come on. So I said, yeah, I'd love to do. I respect you, you respect me, and the same applies with Joe and with Tahir.
Yep.
And, of course, Joe was going to produce the show with me and Basil, and then Basil said, well, why aren't you in the show as well? Mm-hmm. And then we thought we need another member, so we got, of course, Tahir to be a part of, a strong comedy lineup.
Excellent. It's like I said, are you guys funny, like, when you're off stage and you're just being yourself? So you're as funny as off stage?
We are funny, but you can't do that material on stage.
No, I know.
But it's, the stuff that we throw, the funny stuff we talk about off stage ends up on stage in the end anyway. So, we all have a laugh. Of course, business is very serious too. We're very serious about what we do from the business side of things.
Yep.
But when it comes to having a laugh, we're just like everybody else, and then we transfer that on stage. And that's where experience comes in, because we all know how to tell a story.
Absolutely.
And that's the difference between talking to your mates and then talking to an audience.
Absolutely. That's the difference between the fella that cracks a lot of jokes in the pub and between the professional.
That's right. And, we were sitting at a table today, and a friend of ours was telling us all these stories. We were just laughing our heads off. But he was saying to us, I can't do that on stage like you guys do it. You guys, No. So we'll basically steal all this material. No. But yes. And that's the difference. I've been doing it for 27 years. The boys have been doing it for a long time too. And Basil, I don't even know. I don't know him that well yet. We've got an admiration, but we don't really know each other yet because we haven't toured together. Because when we tour together, we become a family, a big happy family.
That's it. Now, I know he's probably sitting next to you or standing next to you or in the room close by, so we will whisper. How would you describe Tahir?
Well, look, he's not only a great comic, a fantastic improviser, and there's no one better when it comes to communicating with an audience and working off the cuff, but a great mate as well. We've known each other for, over 10 years now, and it's been a joy every time we get together. So we have a great time together.
I like a lot of my humour from Bankstown. And my parents too, when they go to Bankstown Station. Like, I love my mum. She was there, like, I just look around. That's where I get my material from, just listen to her. She was at Bankstown Station, and she only wanted to go one-way single to the city. She didn't know how to say it. She goes, give me one ticket, go to city, never come back. Mom, what? Just write it down. Just follow my parents. My dad is funny, like this is true. One day we were at Bankstown Station and we had to go to North Sydney, right? My dad goes, go to North Sydney. And I was just listening, and the guy at the station goes, that'll be $6.40, mate, change to Central Station. My dad says, what? I want my change now.
What about Basil? USA Emmy Award nominee and Greek comedy sensation, who's very well known in America, of course. What can you describe about him? What can our audience expect?
If you're a fan of Joe Vardy and the way he tells a story, which he does beautifully,
which he certainly does.
Basil is a similar kind of style, but from a Greek point of view, let's say Greek-American point of view, but a very similar type of storyteller. Myself and Tahir are different sort of storytellers, but those two are very similar in their style. So, and people just love Joe. So, if you're going to do that, you can do the other one very easily.
But it's cool to be Greek, not so much because of all the success of the movie The Big Fat Greek Wedding, not because of the success of the Olympic Games in 2004 in Athens, not because of every Greek festival you people have been to. It's always been cool to be Greek, and I'll tell you why. Because of our faith. We are Greek Orthodox, and our religion is different than anyone else's in this room. I swear, because everything that we celebrate late. We celebrate everything. We celebrate Easter a week after regular Easter. We're the only people who can make Jesus come back twice in the same freaking year. Celebrate a week after, 2 weeks, sometimes even 5 weeks after, which is great because our candy is so much cheaper. Of course, you always get the broken chocolate bunnies that you bastards never bought. It took me 20 years to realize that chocolate bunnies do have ears. I love the young kids. Give them a big hand because they are wonderful. Yes. I love you guys. And all the children over there, I love you guys. You know why? Because it is difficult. It is difficult to maintain our traditions, our faith, our language, especially here in Quebec when everybody's going, but you guys maintain it, and that's so wonderful to have that. Let me tell you something. I love today's Greek kids. I love them. I love them, the Greek kids, man. I do. Oh, because the Greek kids today, look at you. You got the little blonde hair thing, you know, today the Greek kids, they had that Elino Mavriko Prama going on, you know. They got the pandelonia down to here, the sobracar showing. They got the capelas on backwards. They're saying things like, yo, 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 ya, ya. The Bamekatos to mall,
What about Joe Avati? There are very few people that, you know, what can you say about the man?
I don't know. He must have an odor or something, but people just love him. Chicks love him. They love him. They follow him everywhere. People love him. They do anything for him because he just is the Pied Piper of comedy. You know, people just adore his stuff. You know, everything he says, they go, yes, we get that. We relate to that. You know what I mean?
But sometimes all he has to do is smile or give you a sort of a mannerism.
It could be his green eyes that really work, you know, his smile, you know, he's been working out at the gym, the ladies love him, but he's also a brilliant storyteller.
He certainly is, and he does the Italian really, really well. I love the Italian.
Yeah, they love his Italian Nonno character that he does. They just all love that.
Well, the difference, you know, about getting in trouble as an Italian kid or a WOG kid as an Aussie kid, because the Aussies, we all know, they kind of had it easy, didn't they? What happened if you're an Aussie kid and you got in trouble? You got sent to the room or you got sent to the corner. The corner was, you know, you weren't allowed to watch TV. Or you got the naughty chair. We had the naughty chair too, but it was broken over our heads. Well, sometimes the Aussie kids would get grounded. Grounded. If you're a WOG and you get grounded, you're buried. You were going to get killed for anything. I lived on what I call Italian death row. That's when you know you are going to die at any time, at any stage of the day, right? And the worst case of Italian death row, right, is when, like, when you're at school holidays and you're playing up, right, and your mum says, when your father get home, he gonna kill you. And you know, as soon as 5:30 comes, right, there's no judge, there's no jury. As soon as your old man steps 1 foot in the house, your mum's going to go, there's your son, go kill him.
Well, okay, tell me, when can we expect to see you guys in New South Wales?
Well, that's a very, very common question now. Everyone in New South Wales wants to know when we're doing Comicus Erectus there, because we're doing it in Adelaide for the Fringe, and then we're doing the Melbourne International Comedy Festival, and then Basil has to go home because he's got a family as well, and kids, and you got to do that. You can't leave your family behind while you're on tour. So he's going to go back for a bit, and then the plan is that we get back in July, August, September, and we do New South Wales.
So July, September, we can expect to see you in New South Wales, of course, between...
Yeah, July, August, September, just at the end of winter, going into spring. We'll spring into Comicus Erectus.
Well, we can't wait. Of course, between now and then, we'll do another preview just before you guys arrive, and you'll probably be able to be in a better position to give us dates and places where you'll be appearing. But we'll keep close tabs as to what's happening, especially in Adelaide. You're in Adelaide at the moment. Melbourne follows Adelaide, and of course, we can't wait to see you guys in New South Wales.
Yeah, we're looking forward to doing New South Wales too, and it's kind of nice that people are hanging there. It's like, remember when you were just dating a girl, you weren't allowed to go to third base, and it was just kissing in the car, and that's about it. And then finally you get to go, and that's what it's like.
That's a great analogy. Yorgo, I wish you all the best. Give my regards to everybody else.
Thank you, Tom.
Joe and Basil, and I do believe we have a little surprise for everybody.
Yes. I'll pass him on.
Okay.
All right.
Paulie, my God, I thought my Habibi would come because, I so fully missed him, my God.
Well, you're getting married, so, you'll just be stuck together 24 hours a day. You won't have to miss each other anymore.
Now, Paulie, Habib will pay for the pizza out of his wages because now that I'm his fiancé, I don't need to pay anymore.
Tula, how come I'm not invited to the wedding?
Paulie, my God, it's like family members and gang members only.
Well, I heard Davo's invited.
Yeah, my God, because he's like Habib's best customer. But look, Paulie, we're on a budget. That's why we had to get Bobo to do the catering and to supply the entertainment.
Must be a tight budget, mate.
I want you to make sure for the wedding that all of the food that we use is out of date, eh? And you make sure you put the many porks in the food because I hate that Lebanese Habib.
Hello.
Hello, Tahir. Now, Tahir, we know Tahir especially from his role as Habib.
That's correct. I play the character of Habib. In fact, I specialise in it because you'll notice that I did Habib in Fat Pizza.
Absolutely.
And then we did a new show called Swift and Shiv Couriers.
Mm-hmm.
I played the character of Habib.
And you won't get a bigger fan of Habib than myself. In fact, I even do it at work.
Have you seen our Housos?
Yes. Yes.
Brand new sitcom again.
Yes.
I'm in it. My character, Habib. That's 3 different shows. I play exactly the same character.
I loved the when you were with in Fat Pizza with Tula and the kebabs and
great,
the whole story. And I'll never forget that trip you guys made to Melbourne with all those funny things that happen in Melbourne compared to New South Wales. Tell me, what is it like working next to George and Basil and Joe Avati?
Just to finish up on Habib, I think Habib became fairly popular because he's almost cartoon-like. He's a wannabe gangster who just fails and doesn't get the girls, and he's got all these ideas to make money and doesn't make it. And I think a lot of people sort of can relate to that. Not quite, not quite there, not quite successful.
Yep.
Even though they've got this different image of themselves in their own heads. But look. Working with it's fantastic working with these guys. Seriously, I actually started comedy with Joe Vardy.
Mm-hmm.
We started together. We're in the open mic, really encouraging each other, and I clearly still remember it today. Just hanging around the open mics for about a year or two, just watching each other, encouraging to do some shows together. It's been fantastic, and of course George Kapiniaris. I clearly remember watching him in Acropolis Now and
Yep.
all those stage shows, different stuff.
Look, my kids have still got those DVDs and they still play them today.
You know what? George actually sells them at shows.
Well, the last show that George did in Newcastle, where I live, my daughter wanted to see George, and George looks up and says, expecting to see a 25-year-old Madonna, and she was only 6.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we all get on. That's a weird thing, but the funny thing is, he sells them at the shows with Acropolis Now, and people go, "Wow, it's got them on DVDs."
Yes.
Because most people got them on, we used to record them on the old VHS.
Yes.
You can update now. It's fantastic.
Well, as I said, they're still as popular today as they were back then. One of the things, though, that I find incredible, and what I just told George just before we even commenced, is the lifestyle that you guys lead, which the audience doesn't really get a taste of. It's not just comedy. It's going into hotels. It's rehearsing. It's the hard work that you guys put in that no one ever gets to see, and no one fully appreciates until someone is actually involved in part of this sort of this game, if you like. And then when I get a taste of a little bit of what it's like, and I'm thinking, what is it like for these stars? The challenges on your family, on yourselves, the touring that goes on, and as I said to George earlier on, to have you four stars together for such a long time, it must be very challenging. Oh, look, it's a good point. It's a very weird lifestyle. There's no doubt about it. It's a good one because it doesn't feel like a job, to me, and I think the other boys are in the same boat because when you can do something you love, it doesn't feel like a job. But yes, there's a lot of travelling, and with any show, like it's right, there's marketing involved. There's ticket sales to consider. There's all sorts of different things, logistics, rehearsals. Yes, exactly right. Sometimes it's easy to just rock up and do a stand-up show at a club, and then that's a whole different ball game too, because you do a lot of corporate. I do a lot of corporate work as well. That's a whole new ball game again. You rock up to this function where nobody knows that you're going to be on. Yep. All of a sudden you get introduced. Sometimes they're not even a stage or a microphone. And you have to make them laugh. And you've got to make them laugh. You need a reaction, unlike, yep. A lot of other sort of, if you're a musician, sometimes you sing a song, they clap. You don't really know if they love you or not. But as a comedian, one of my weirdest shows this last year was I did a corporate Christmas function in a boardroom. Mm-hmm. I rocked up. It's a boardroom. Yes. Couldn't believe it. Walked in, 14 guys sitting around a big board table, and no microphone, of course. And I said, "All right, just do your thing," which is really weird. And I picked up a gigantic because there's no microphone. I felt it'd be weird, because this is like busking. I'm just a really well-paid busker. Yes. And I picked up the massive pepper shaker, and I used that as a microphone. And every now and then I'd scratch some, I'd grind some pepper, which they thought was really funny. But you just got to make it work, You just got to make the scenario work. But that's really the difference between a professional and a very funny person. well, exactly. It's a professional. This is your living, even though inside him was going, scream, "Get out of here!" Professionally, you've got to give it a go. I like to always give it a go. Make any sort of scenario try to work. Mm-hmm. I actually enjoy the challenge, to be honest. That's excellent. What can I say, Habib? It's been an honour, and we can't wait till we see you guys back in New South Wales. Of course, we're going to preview your arrival in New South Wales in the months that George mentioned just before. But really, you've got a lot of fans here, and especially amongst our listeners here at Symban World Radio. We wish you all the best. We wish you every success. And I guess the real reason, well, not just the fact that you are all excellent comedians, but I think that the fact that we share a lot, and it doesn't matter whether Joe Vardy's of Italian background, yourself is of Turkish background, George is of Greek background, and Basil is of Greek American. I think in each one of you, we all see a part of ourselves, and we also see that the difficulty. Let's face it, a few decades ago, and we did a big thing with George a few months ago, or actually last year, we were talking about ethnic comedy, and 20 years ago, or a little bit longer, you guys, there was no market, there was nothing. There was no market, exactly. And now all of a sudden, thanks to you guys, a young generation of young Australian comedians of ethnic background, you've created a market. And you've enabled a lot of people to be able to come out of and be proud of being able to say that they're of whatever cultural background they come from, and to be able to come and watch and appreciate the comedy that you guys produce. And really, it is an honour, and all the best. Thanks. We're sharing our stories, and it's fantastic. It's great to be able to do that. It's fantastic to be able to do that. Of course, George was in a pioneering group, really. Really. I came after that, but it's fantastic to be able to work with him. But exactly, we're just sharing stories, and we're taking a mickey out of ourselves, we're taking a piss out of ourselves, so to speak, and that is, guess what? That's the Australian way of humour. That's it. Thanks very much, Tom. Good on you. No worries. Tahir, we wish you all the best, and as I said, we can't wait till you guys arrive back in New South Wales, and just before you arrive, when the dates are finalised, we'll have you back on the show again, just to inform our listeners when they're ready. Oh my God, like fully sick, that's hectic.